Hi, I'm Vince from Cardno Native Plant Nursery. We know a lot of you are at home right now, so we thought it might be a good idea to offer you a behind-the-scenes sort of virtual tour of the nursery so you can get an idea of how we're able to provide the diversity of native plants that people use for habitat restoration and native landscaping. I think we'll start our tour right here in this small prairie by the pond. Kind of hard right now to appreciate how colorful this is going to be. It's early spring now, but before long this will be exploding with colors. A lot of different species out here: silphiums, liatris, parthenium, a number of different things. After these things bloom and they set seed, we'll cut the heads off, like this Monardi here. We'll cut the head off and then take that back to be processed. I don't know if you can hear all the frogs that are out here, but obviously we're in a wetland. We have several acres of wetland here at the nursery, and sedges and rushes and a number of wetland wildflowers grow out here. Things like sedges and rushes, people aren't as familiar with those. A lot of times your home gardener isn't as aware of those as they are some of the more colorful wildflowers. But those sedges and rushes are still very important in wetland habitats, so we provide a lot of those to habitat restoration projects. The wildflowers like cardinal flower and monkey flower that grow out here, those are really attractive plants. They're a great addition to any place where there's a lot of moisture in the soil. And they're great for different kinds of pollinators. They provide pollen and nectar for a lot of different kinds of pollinators. A lot of species are grown in rows in fields like this. A number of different species like Coreopsis, Penstemon, Baptisia, and a whole bunch of others are grown in this way. We also have some partnerships with some private landowners and with other agencies that have native plants on their property, where we collect the seed from those native plants, and the seed from here, the seed from those properties, the seeds from our prairies and wetlands are all taken back to be processed in the wintertime. When the seed is collected from those prairies and wetlands and fields, it is often collected with a lot of extra plant material like stems, the rest of the seed head, maybe some leaves. And those materials need to be separated from the seed so we just have pure seed. For very small amounts of seed, we could use these hand strainers, but most seed is cleaned on these machines. The seed is placed into this hopper here at the top. Then it shakes down onto the screens. You can install whatever size screen is appropriate for the seed or the seed debris that you're dealing with. And then the good stuff is separated and comes out at the bottom. That seed may be provided to clients that use it directly in their habitat restoration projects. Or we might bring it here to this building where it will be sown directly into flats. Then it will be moved into the greenhouse. After the plants have been growing for a while, they're often transplanted into bigger containers. They may be transplanted into flats that hold 50 plants, or they may be transplanted into quarts or in gallon-sized containers. We have over 300 different native species that grow in our greenhouses here. I'm back out here in the wetland, and I wanted to show you another way that we provide plants. In addition to having seeds and green plants that we grow in the greenhouse, we also come out to, mostly in the wetlands, and we extract bare root plants and provide those for different kinds of habitat projects. So something like this bulbochanus, we pull it up out of the ground and clean off the roots. This has little bulbs on there, and this is actually 2 of them, and we would separate those and offer those. We usually cut off the tops, and those are placed right in the ground and used in different wetland habitat restorations. There's some Carex lacustris here as well. Many of these species reproduce with underground systems like rhizomes, and so they'll fill in an area pretty quickly and sort of replenish the area pretty quickly after we're done. Some of the bare root species that we provide grow in deeper water like this. Plants like Nufar and Nymphaea, they grow in this deeper water. So we have to get into wetsuits and climb in there and cut or pull portions of the roots. It's some of the muddiest and most physical of all the work that we do. You can watch my coworker Kyle and I discuss these plants and how we extract them in an episode of the local PBS nature show Outdoor Elements. You can go to WNIT's webpage to find a clip of that. In another area here at the nursery, we have water-filled cribs with these biologs. Biologs are long rolls of coconut fiber wrapped in netting and planted with a custom selection of native plants. These are most often used for erosion control or bank stabilization projects. The coconut fiber lasts long enough to allow the plants to get established, but soon they'll break down and create a natural-looking shoreline. Another form of plant that we provide are live stakes. Sometimes we call them cuttings. In the wintertime when the plants are dormant, if we just cut off the plant, and I'll show you how this works here. We cut down this piece, it's pretty straight. This is Cornus amomum, which is a dogwood, silky dogwood. We usually cut off the side branches. Sometimes there's a length specified in the order, and we might cut it down to a certain length. We give it a chisel point, and if you take this and put it right in the ground, it'll grow. Usually you try to get it in a little deeper than that. Depending on how soft the ground is, you might be able to shove it right in. Sometimes people use a piece of rebar to make a hole first, and then they shove that in. But the dogwoods, the willows, a number of other species, elderberry, buttonbush, all do well as live stakes like this. They're often used in erosion control or string bank stabilization projects because they're a good way to get a lot of vegetation established quickly, and they don't get washed away because they're driven into the ground. So as you can see, it takes a number of different strategies to provide the plants that people use for the important work of restoring native habitat and returning native plants to the landscape. For more information and resources, check out our Facebook page or our website. Thanks for coming along.